Coach Casey, and I want to talk to you guys about another golf myth. This is one that you'll hear constantly on TV from announcers, which is use your big muscles in the swing, or that golf is a big muscle game. In other words, you use the big muscles to make the swing. That is patently absurd. Let's think about what this game actually is. Here's a golf club. Here's a golf ball. All we're trying to do to propel the golf ball is put the face of the club against the back of the ball. That's it. That's the entire game. So we've got a club face and we've got a ball, and we've got to put the ball right against the club face. So with that being said, what does that have to do with a big muscle skill like, say, a deadlift or a squat? Well, absolutely nothing. So golf is not a big muscle game. It's actually a fine motor skill. And here's the good news, folks. Because it's a fine motor skill, you can actually have limited mobility and still play the game very well. I teach veterans through our PGA Hope program, and some of them have a single limb or limited mobility, and the great thing about coaching them is I can still help them a lot because I teach them how to use a golf club. Because what hits the ball? You don't hit the ball, right? So there's another old adage out there in the golf industry that, you know, the dog wags the tail. Well, that's a ridiculous logic there, because the tail is actually part of the dog. So yeah, if I was hitting it with my hand, then it would make sense that the dog would wag the tail. However, I'm using an object outside of myself, which is a golf club. So the objective of golf is to move this club in a manner that you can hit the golf ball with. That's what the game actually is. So that being the case, if you understand how to move a club on a ball, you can set up various different ways and still have lots of success. Gross motor development ends at about age 9 or 10. So in other words, you're either going to be Michael Jordan jumping or you're not by age 10. Now you can improve those skills some, but you're never going to be the most explosive person by that point. You can just get a little bit better. Fine motor skills, however, like golf, you can continue to perfect those throughout your entire life and get them better. So we've got a club face. We're trying to hit the golf ball. You see where my face is marked? Right in the center of the club face. That's not very big. This is not very big. It's a fine motor skill. If you went to a surgeon and he put the scalpel in his hip, would you let him cut into you? Probably not. He's using his hands, because this is a fine motor skill that we're talking about, not a big muscle game. When you learn other things in life, like using a tool, like hammering a nail into a piece of wood, are you thinking about squaring your shoulders up, getting your right arm at a right angle so that then you can use the hammer? No. You're thinking about hitting the nail, the task, using the hammer, the implement that you use. When you write, and you learned that when you were a kid, did you learn to write by your wrist angle, or your flexion extension of your wrist, or compressing your spine? You didn't learn it that way. You saw somebody use a pen or a pencil, and you copied how they moved the pen or the pencil. That's one of the problems with the industry. All of it's internally focused cues, where most people actually learn better, especially with fine motor, by focusing on an external cue, like the club or the target. If you were to think about a body part, you'd want to have more of a fine motor body part. Listen to Tiger Woods, what he said recently. He feels the swing through his hands, right? So that's fine motor. So golf is not a big muscle game. Does the body play a role, and is it important? Yes. But ultimately, the only thing you need to be able to do to hit a golf ball is put a club face against a ball. You don't have to have 2 feet to do it, 2 legs, a hip turn. You don't even have to have 2 hands to do it. I've seen guys put it in their elbows, but they've developed the fine motor skill of using the club or the tool to hit the ball. So hopefully this will help change perception about this a little bit, because where our industry is now, it's all about move this, and move this. The only problem with that is when you move your body, you're not even aware of when that starts to happen. So in other words, by the time you feel like you've made a shoulder turn or something, you've already gotten the club to here. So when you're swinging a golf club in space, you don't actually know the rate at which it goes or when it starts to actually move. So to try to control the entire game like that, it's very frustrating to a lot of people. So while that is important and you can develop it, to have a true understanding of what this game is, all it boils down to is put a club face against a ball. That's the entire game in a nutshell. So hopefully this tip or idea, it's not really a tip, it's more of a concept, but this concept will seep through and kind of help you guys extrapolate a little bit more out of your game than just moving a bunch of parts to move a club. How about instead we move the club and we let our bodies respond to the movement of the club? That's a new idea, but it's actually an old idea because it's been around for a while. It just hasn't been the accepted theory, but now academics, like for instance Gabrielle Wolf, have done research papers on how external feedback actually helps people develop more than internal feedback, external being the club, internal being the body. So this stuff is all out there and it's been around for years. There's golf coaches that have used these methods for years, but it's not highly accepted because it's a lot, people are detail-oriented thinking. But I'll leave you with this. The parts do not create the swing. The swing itself creates all those pieces. So just like a blender or a milkshake, you blend it all up and it becomes a whole unit rather than a series of parts. So hopefully this helps and helps clarify the idea that this is not a big muscle game.